Bow! What's up, everybody? Once again, it's Brandman Sean, and this video is brought to you by Brandman Network.com because I signed myself. Now, this snippet of an interview is one of my favorite snippets. When I'm talking about the interview I did with Spectacular Smith, this is my favorite portion of that because the information that he gives on why a lot of artists fail, right? Especially those creative artists, is something that's really probably going to change the way you think about the business as a whole. I'm just going to go ahead and let you get into it, and we're going to talk at the end.
It's the network.
What's the difference between being an entrepreneur and a musician?
I mean, I definitely think it all depends. It's two type of musicians. You have musicians that's all artsy and all they care about is the craft, and then you have the musicians that understand the business. So the ones who's just all artsy and like musically and all that type of vibe of what they consider themselves as, they're more of, it's really more like of a puppet, honestly. It's like, you know, when somebody decides to pull your strings and make you jump or whatever, like you really at the next person beck and call. It's up to them, unless you really, well, you still got to know the business is hard. So anybody who's just 100% on the creative side is like, I feel for them because it's not longevity. You got to wait for somebody to do stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
Some pull it off, but majority of the people don't. So you'll see somebody like Spike, like they have this huge career and then they just flatline and you never hear from them again. Or they have this huge career and then the label decide they don't want to deal with them no more. They cut them off, drop them from the label, and they never make a comeback. Versus the artists who understand the business, they might have a huge spike and they end up signing somebody else, and now they got a huge spike and like it lives on like that. Or the people who did make that huge spike, they took advantage of the relationships of the business and they set themselves up for a bigger future. So I would definitely say for an entrepreneur side, it's kind of the same thing. It's like you always got to reinvent yourself. You always got to be creative. You always got to figure out how to touch the people. It's like it's the same thing, right? And just becoming better and better every single day. Like if you look at everybody who's successful in music as a musician, they all jumped into the entrepreneur side. If you look at Rihanna right now, she's killing it off of her cosmetics or her makeup line or whatever you want to call it. You look at Jay-Z, he just hit $1 billion. If you look at everything, I went and analyzed everything he's doing. I'm like, oh, I'm doing that. I was like, I'm on my way. If you really break down what Jay-Z did, right? He took his music stuff, he just didn't throw it to the side. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm doing concerts and I'm getting paid peanuts from the promoter. Even if I get paid $1 million, they're making $20 million. So why the hell am I getting $1 million just to perform? So let me come in on a partnership end, partner with Live Nation. And then once I partner with Live Nation, learn it in and outs. And then from that point forward, I can launch my own stuff. So he ended up doing that. And then he ended up signing other artists and creating an agency part of it where now he's representing sports talent. He's representing artists. And he said, listen, if you want to go on tour, I'm assigned to exclusive agreement. And now I get to make all the money. I cut you the check and now I'm the promoter. So this is all stuff that's in the works for me. So the same thing. So boom, you got Rock Nation put to the side. And then you have next is his streaming platform, a digital product, which is my digital product, which is my academy. So he has his digital product. I have my digital product. His is streaming. Mine's is education. Then the next thing you look at is a product, Duce, and then Ace of Spade. So a physical product. Right now, I'm in the process of launching a physical product. It's not done yet, so I don't like to talk about stuff until it's done, ready to launch. But I can basically take the place of a physical product and just say, hey, I got my agency, which is not really a scalable model. So that's why it's good to actually have a product, right? So instead of actually having a physical product, I just got multiple digital products for right now until I launch my physical product. And then I have a huge real estate portfolio. So same thing, real estate, recurring revenue, passive income, boom, that's done. So it's like everything that he did, I'm pretty much doing the same thing, right? And he had a better chance to really scaling his up faster because he had his record label that took off, and he took all that revenue that he earned from that, which was millions, and he did the right thing with his money, 40/40 Club, and he created partnerships, and he really, like, he's smart as hell, and he really took advantage of his money versus the normal guy who's on the artist side don't do that. They go buy cars and chains and all this stuff instead of investing. Me, I started from a $60,000 sound exchange check, and turned it into millions within a year. So it's a slower build for me, versus comparing me to Jay-Z, the way he really just took off and made the decisions he made. But honestly, you really just one decision, one partnership away from blowing the hell up. And I understand that. It's about products. And it's about digital products. I mean, physical products and digital products.
It's the network.
All right, so once again, that's one of my favorite portions of the interview I did with Spectacular, man. I mean, as a matter of fact, he was one of my favorite interviews that I've done thus far. You can find the full thing on BrandmanNetwork.com. But the most important thing that I hear out of this interview, one of my key takeaways, is the fact that artists cannot afford to be a puppet. Just point blank, right? Maybe there was a time, right, where being a puppet was more beneficial, right? In terms of financials, of course, you could always get more, but at least there was a time where being a puppet gave you a lot of money, right? But now we're in the industry, we're in a portion of the music industry where you don't make as much per project or just straight off of music. So if you're a puppet, then you have a very short career and you're not going to make as much. There were some $1 million, $100 million puppets back in the day. Today, that might be 100,000, 200,000. So you got to figure out the industry. You have to be able to study in the same way that he broke his money down, or the way that Spectacular is studying Jay-Z and breaking down some of the moves that he was going to make based off of what he saw. It's something that everybody should be doing. It's not even just a music thing, right? It's something, no matter where you are, you should be able to study and build the blueprint based off of what you see and move it from there. But you have to know the business regardless. Because the thing is, as he said, you have the entrepreneurs who really flip it. The Rihannas or people who might even flip the money they make from music and get completely out of music. But then you also have those artists who want to stay super artsy and things like that. But if you don't have the knowledge for certain things, you're still not going to even be able to maximize your artsiness, right? Your artistry. You need to be able to know a certain amount of things yourself. Of course, you'll have people around you on your team, hopefully a real good manager or something like that, to be able to really dig deep into things or know the industry and how things works. But you have to have a certain amount of knowledge yourself, because as a matter of fact, you don't want your manager to be able to mistreat you or something like that, because that's a situation that's happened again and again and again. So I guess we'll end this one with number 1, don't be a puppet. Number 2, invest in knowledge and invest in other avenues of income. And with that being said, as always, this interview is brought to you by BrandmanNetwork.com, because I sign myself. If you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you like it, you might as well share it. And if you're not, subscribe. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button.